for class 9th. And in this video series, now we are going to start the new chapter, that is 6th chapter, Financial Planning. Now, in this chapter, we are going to learn about various examples which are related to the money, that is savings, our expenses or our investment. Every person who is earning money is not spending all the money which he or she earns daily, monthly or yearly. Some part of this money or some part of the income is spent for daily purposes or some monthly purposes or causes are there. These are called daily expenses, monthly expenses, some are yearly expenses. In those, we will see some expenses are predictable and some expenses are unpredictable. Predictable means we know that in our lifetime or in particular next 5 years or next 2 years, we have to spend money on this some particular function, some particular reason. Unpredictable expenses means in our lifetime we don't know whether we will have to pay or we will have to spend money for some particular reasons or some particular causes. So let's see what is meant by through some examples we'll see what is predictable expense and what are the unpredictable expenses. Now, some part of the money, that is the income, monthly income or yearly income, the person is doing investment. Now he is investing the money in different ways. For what is the purpose of investing money? Why the person is not spending all the money whatever he is earning? No, he is doing some expense and he is saving or he is doing investment. So near investment you can see the another word, that is savings. The person who is earning the money is doing some kind of investment, some kind of saving other than expenses. So he is dividing his income into 3 parts, we can say. One part for the expenses, one part for the investment, one part for the savings. It may not be possible investment and saving simultaneously is going on. Sometimes savings are there and sometimes investments are done. Like investment, we can say if a person is purchasing a land, if a person purchases gold, person purchases any house, shop, this all will be called as investment. He is not going to use now, but it will be sold in the future so that his wealth or his money, whatever he has investment in this property, that will be increasing. So investment can be done by different ways. Now we'll think about the savings. Savings of a person can be in a different way. We can save our money in our house. But will it increase if we save our money? If we keep our money in our house, will it increase? Not at all. So what is done? Maximum, that is the some part of the money which is earned is kept in a safe place and it grows there. Grows there means it increases. So which is the safer place? Yes, of course, it's a bank. Various types of banks are there. A person can keep the money in a bank. So he will have a saving account in a bank. He can take a particular national savings certificate or he can make a fixed deposit of his money and he can save the money in the bank. or he can save the money in the post office also. And nowadays different ways are there to save the money. Different companies are there, different agencies are there which are helping us to save our money as well as invest our money. So together, investment, savings and expenses is nothing but the part of our income. We have divided, every person has divided his income into these three parts. Some may not give importance for the investment, but savings and expenses are the part of our income. But we have to think very rationally. How and when, how much we have to spend our money, or how much expense we have to do, as well as how much savings we have to do. So some planning we have to do regarding our income, and it is only called as financial planning. So every person, those who are earning money, they are doing their financial planning. Different persons have their different financial planning. So here in this chapter, you will be given some examples. These are the practical examples. Suppose a person is earning this much money, his income is this much, then suppose his expenses are given, savings you have to find out, or savings are given, expenses you have to find out, investment is given, savings are given, then expenses are given, you have to find out his original income. Like this way, some practical examples are there. So these examples are wonderful to solve, and each example will be solved by different way. No formula is there in this particular examples. Means we don't have to use any formula. What is the formula? Income is equal to, we can say, expenses plus investment plus savings. According to that we can make the formula. But like that, any formula is not there to learn. That is a very wonderful thing in this, all the word problems. Okay. Last year or before last year, you might have learned about simple interest. So that formula, if you keep in mind, that is the previous knowledge. As well as you have learned about compound interest. That formula, some examples we have to use. Otherwise, we don't have to use any other formula. Okay, isn't it very good? Yes. So let's solve some of the examples from practice set 6.1. Very wonderful examples are there. So in this example, solution of this examples, we have to consider that let Alka's monthly income be rupees X. So if her monthly income is X rupees, means it is 100% we have to consider. From that, her expenditure is given 90% of X, and so her savings will be 100 minus 90, that is 10%. So actually it is given that she saves rupees 120 per month. So we can say this 10% of X which she saves, that is nothing but 120 rupees. So 10% of X is equal to 120 rupees. 10% means we write 10 by 100 multiplied by X is equal to 120. If you shift this 10 upon 100, then X is equal to 120 into 100 upon 10. And if we calculate this, then we'll find out X is equal to rupees 1200. So here we have to write every word problem. The answer will be the last step. That is, Alka get rupees 1200 monthly, or the amount which she get monthly is 1200 rupees. Is there any formula in this? No. So here how the example is given, how the practical condition is given, according to that we have to go on solving the example. Correct? Let's see second example. In this second example, the person is Sumit, and Sumit has invested his money in first business. Then he got a loss and he invested the remaining capital or remaining money in the other business, and there he got the profit. So what was his loss? Total loss on his original capital, that is asked. So let's consider first. Let's see first what is the given. From that we'll start always. So here the total capital invested by Sumit is rupees 50,000. and he got loss of 20%. So loss of 20% means 20% of 50,000. So if we calculate 20%, 20 by 100 multiply by 50,000. So we'll get here rupees 10,000 rupees. Now he invested 50,000 and he got 10,000 rupees as a he had a loss of rupees 10,000. So from his 50,000, these 10,000 rupees are reduced. So remaining capital is 50,000 minus 10,000, that is 40,000. And he invested this 40,000 rupees in another business, that is the sweets business. And so his capital invested in the second business, that is rupees 40,000. Now this time he got profit. How much profit? He got 5% profit. 5% of what? The amount which he has invested. So 5% of 40,000. Calculate it. How much profit he got? So 5 upon 100 multiplied by 40,000, that is 2,000. Here are wonderful and everybody like that operation, that is 0 we are cancelling. Correct? So here if we multiply we get 2,000 rupees. So he got a profit of 2,000 rupees. Means now he has 40,000 which he has invested and 2,000, that is his profit. So together how much rupees are invested in his business now? Means how much money he will have to invest in his business, that is 40,000 plus 2,000, 42,000. So total capital at the end of the second year, that is at the end of the second business, we have calculated here 40,000 plus 2,000, that is 42,000. So Sumit has 42,000 now at the end of the second year. Now let's see whether he has got loss or profit. Originally how many rupees or what was the capital which he invested? He had invested rupees 50,000. He had invested rupees 50,000. And what is the amount or what is the capital at the end of the second year? 42,000. 8,000 is loss. So loss is original capital minus 42,000. We can calculate that, it is 8,000. So he got a loss of, total loss is 8,000. So whenever it is asked how much loss is there, so if we give it in the percentage form, it is better. So loss percent will find out to understand 8,000 upon 50,000, because he has got loss of total 8,000 on his original capital 50,000. Multiply by 100 and find out. Again very nice calculation will do here. 0 0 will be cancelled, which is very easy. 2 zeros, 1 more 0, 1 more 0, and 80 divided by 5, that is 16. So here we can write at the end that Sumit incurred 16% loss on original capital. Okay, so like that way, read the example which is given 2 times and then slowly you proceed to solve. Once you read the example, once you start from the given thing, it will come to your mind how to solve next. Let's see one more example. Nikhil's monthly income will consider X and his expenditure and investment are given, that is 5% he has invested or spent on children's education, 14% in shares, 3% in part he has kept in the bank, 40% his expenses are there. So together his expenses are 62%. So savings we can calculate 38%. 100 minus 62, that is 38%. But it is given that he saves 19,000. So 38% of X is 19,000. If we calculate, we'll get here X as 50,000. Therefore, Nikhil's monthly salary is rupees 50,000. So in this way, whatever the example is given, you have to read it. You have to understand the example, what is given, what is to find out, and what is asked to find out, you can find out. Okay, so try to solve the other examples also. We'll see the next part of the chapter in the next video.